I'm going to show you 4 ways that this feature, scuttling your ship and changing seas, is actually so broken that anyone playing the game can use this to their advantage. But first, what is scuttling? Scuttling is not a new mechanic in the game. It was added during its technical alpha period back in 2017, and its purpose was simple. If a player encountered a difficult to handle or even griefing ship and crew that would not leave them alone as they sailed, they would have the option to scuttle their ship, putting distance between them and their opponents. But this mechanic didn't turn out to be the cure-all that Rare was hoping for. Instead of reducing toxicity, what ended up happening was that the player would encounter a griefer, be told by the game that maybe they should scuttle after having been sent to the Ferry of the Damned, end up losing their progress on their current voyage, and have to start anew on the same server where the griefer was. And if that griefer knew what sort of voyage that crew was on originally, it was going to be inevitable that they would find where the player was again. And yes, you can report toxic behavior, but it's not exactly an easy process. Meanwhile, the player that was getting griefed still lost all their progress and has to deal with being on the same server as the griefer. It's not the greatest solution by any means, but for the longest time, that's all we had. But Rare was aware that this wasn't what players were wanting, and when Season 9 launched on March 16th of 2023, Rare released a new method to scuttling, the Scuttle Your Ship and Change Seas option. Now, players will still lose their progress if they scuttled, but instead of having to deal with the same crews on the seas over and over again, they will be transferred to a different server, giving them the opportunity to start fresh. Sounds great, right? Here's the thing, and the reason why this is so broken. You don't need to start fresh. You can take things with you between servers when using this feature. Anyone can do this, whether you've just started in the game or have a couple thousand hours in it. And in fact, the sweats of Sea of Thieves don't want this method to be revealed, lest Rare come in with the hotfix to patch this hole. Let's start with the first way this is broken, and the simplest: supplies. You can carry a full set of supplies with you between servers as you scuttle. That means 10 cannonballs, 5 throwables, 5 chain shot, 5 wood, and 5 pieces of fruit. Now, that by itself isn't really all that bad, but what if you waited until you made sure you got yourself full of pineapples before sticking to a server? That, plus the pineapples you can purchase from the shipwright, can increase your chances of survival. Okay, you say, that's interesting, but that's not all that bad, Jon. No need to make a video about that. But you may have noticed I left out one particular type of supply out of that original mix: cursed cannonballs. Cursed cannonballs are not something that you can purchase at the shipwright. In fact, they are harder than ever to find since Season 8 launched, and the spawn rate of them was nerfed to try and limit their use in Hourglass. But what does that mean for the sweaty PvP player who wants an edge at any cost? That's right, they will hop from server to server using this scuttling method, on the hunt for cursed cannonballs. Before Season 9, they could still server hop, but they were limited to a single outpost spawn. But now, they can keep hopping, and once they have a full stack, they can simply pop on their Athena or Reaper Hourglass and join the war. It's a clear advantage for the sweat. There's no contesting that. And it's impossible for their opponent to know that the sweat obtained these cannonballs through server hopping rather than through normal gameplay. But if you think this is only an advantage for PvPers, then I've got some news for you PvE players as well. What's one of the hardest commendations to get nowadays that involves the use of cursed cannonballs? The Cursed Iron Commendations. These commendations were originally released in September of 2018 and requires players to destroy a number of skeletons with various cursed cannonballs like grog balls, jig balls, venom balls, and so on. The most difficult one, the Legend of Cursed Iron, requires players to destroy 200 skeletons or phantoms that have been affected by these curse balls. Now, this may not have been too difficult prior to Season 8, but cursed cannonballs are in short supply these days. That is, until Season 9, where you can now server hop and pocket all these cursed cannonballs and use them to grind out this commendation. Yes, you can only carry 5 cursed cannonballs at a time, but to have 5 in pocket and then scrounge up 1 or 2 more at the last spawn, and now you've got yourself a decent lead going for your commendation hunting. There's one more facet to scuttling that gives commendation hunters an advantage, and this reverts a previous change that Rare made to emergent quests, specifically those obtained through mysterious journals. You see, mysterious journals are a source for quests located randomly on islands that can provide missions like an X marks the spot map, riddle map, or cargo run. But there are 2 specific types of quests that are only obtainable by finding them in the world: fruit and wood crate deliveries. It used to be that players were able to obtain multiple quests from a single mysterious journal by resetting the island they were on through a trip to the ferry and back. Rare patched this out of the game in an update back in April 2023, and so commendation hunters were stuck once again searching for journals one at a time, or hoping that they'd come across a message in a bottle with the quest they wanted during their gameplay. But it turns out that the tattered parchment quests that are found in barrels at the outposts when a player first spawns in do have the possibility of being a wood or fruit crate delivery. And these quests also can follow you between servers. So now you can potentially stack these emergent quests and complete them all, or hop until you get ones that you're looking for, like the wood and fruit crate deliveries, and complete 2 commendations with relative ease: the Merchant Forager and Merchant Shipwright commendations. In the end, the question comes down to, will Rare consider these actions exploits, or are they, as currently coded, a part of the game? As they say, tools, not rules. Like how many pirates use tall tale checkpoints to cheese through tall tale completions at a quicker rate in order to unlock the gold curse. We have about 6 weeks left in this season before the launch of Season 10 in July, should no delays occur. Could Rare come out with a hotfix for this nuance of scuttling? Maybe, but perhaps not without also changing how scuttling works even when you don't change servers, and that may cause a bit of concern. In the end, I do believe that Rare will end up hotfixing this. Their recent PvP strategy thus far has been to level the playing field for everyone, and I feel that this will end up being no different. Are they right? I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments of this video, and until next time, this is Jon Bardcore signing off, saying so long and take care.